That's right, folks. The Commonwealth now has its very
Hey,
own
Sin.
superhero
I've been
in the
waiting for
form
you.
of the Silver Shroud.
So, what's our situation?
I assume you've been
Someone
briefed?
dressing up like
Our
it.
targets are inside. 4 synths under railroad protection. Majority of the settlement is uninvolved and are expected to run for cover. The situation appears to have escalated.
So I guess if you're out
A
there
covert approach is
thinking
likely
about
impossible.
breaking the law,
We move in,
you might
secure the
wanna
synths, and I relay out with them back to the Institute. Clear? The mission's parameters just changed. We're going shooting. Requesting backup relay now.
Hey.
Yeah? We'll get somewhere safe as soon as you're gone.
I can't believe you'd do that for us.
Thank you for sparing
Thank
us.
you. You've given us another chance at life. We won't forget it.
You know, in all my years, I've never set foot outside the Institute. Not once. Since the day they brought me here. I've never had a reason. But now, this just confirms the truth I've always known. The Commonwealth is dead. There's no future here. The only hope for humanity lies below.
It wasn't always like this. It used to be different.
I can only imagine. Standing here, I'm reminded of how fortunate I am that I was spared a life in this wasteland. I know that to you, I was kidnapped from that vault. In truth, the Institute rescued me. Both of us, really.
They left me on ice. For 60 years.
They did. And for good reason. I was the perfect candidate. An infant with uncorrupted DNA. But if something were to go wrong, if I died, well, the Institute realized a contingency plan was prudent. Another source of pre-war DNA, preferably related to their primary subject. It only made sense that my parents should fill that role. So you were kept alive and safe within the vault. I'll admit, when I had you released from Vault 111, I had no expectations that you'd survive out here in all this. To not only do so, but manage to find me. To infiltrate the Institute itself. Extraordinary.
So it was you. You let me out?
Yes. It was my decision. Certainly it was no longer necessary to keep you suspended. Well, I suppose I wanted to see what would happen. An experiment of sorts. Would the Commonwealth corrupt you? As it has everything else? Would you even survive? Perhaps most curious to me, would you, after all this time, attempt to find me? And now I know the answer.
Sean, you need to know. I still love you.
I can see that you do. Well, it's remarkable. Soon, I hope you'll understand. Everything I've done has been for the future. A future which I hope is not in jeopardy after recent events. Bunker Hill did not go well for us. Would you care to explain what happened?
We were totally ambushed. They were waiting for us.
You can imagine that I find that very hard to believe, given that all the intelligence leading up to this indicated we'd taken them by surprise. Bunker Hill was to cement your place as a valuable asset to the Institute. It will now only raise suspicions. And to see the Brotherhood of Steel involved in this, they had no way of knowing what was going on. I will refrain from sharing the outcome with the Directorate for the moment. Things are already in motion that this would only derail. Speaking of which, it's time for you to become more involved in the future of the Institute. I'd like you to join me inside. The Directorate is meeting, and you should be there. I'll be waiting. I've seen enough. It's time to go back in.
time to start thinking about a vacation. How does 6 weeks in Ireland sound to you? Dublin, Galway Bay, Waterford. Maybe a week in that little bed and breakfast in Kilkenny. And don't worry, we don't have to take my cousin Stephen with us. Let him get out of the country on his own. I told him to threaten that cop, not blast him in the face with a shotgun. He can rot in that abandoned fishery down in Union Wharf for all I care. Love you.
Look alive.
I'm listening.
Hey, Valentine.
So, you got something for me? Maybe a pocket full of tapes belonging to an old ghoul?
Yep, here. Take them.
Will you look at that? Wow. That's some real solid detective work. They're older than dirt, but they've got Eddie's paw prints all over them. These are the real deal. And they've still got the code pieces in them. Let me run them through the old processor. Got it. 19553728406. That old thug's holed up in Andrews Station. Now, let's go bring down Eddie Winter. Filthy toad's right on the other side of that door. Why don't you do the honor?
Sure. 19537284006.
The fuck? Who the fuck are you?
Oh, come on, Eddie. It's me. Your old pal, Molly McFuck yourself.
All this time, and the first person to walk through my door is a wise ass. Well, you are easy on the eye, so that's something. Just how the fuck did you get... No way. Not after all this time. Don't tell me you actually cracked my code. In the holotapes? Well, hey, it's only been what? 200 years? Well, look, I'm not sure what you thought you'd find. Gold, jewels, the secrets of the universe. But you get me. One guy. A ghoul, I guess you'd call me. Just living, surviving, and what I got, you can't have. That code? It was a joke. I just wanted to prove how dumb those feds were. Turns out, pretty dumb. So take your asses someplace else.
I'm not going anywhere until I get what I came for.
Yeah? And what's that? And who are you, huh? You look kind of familiar. But what are you, some kind of robot? Is that what it's like out there now? A world of robot overlords? I knew it.
The name's Valentine. Nick Valentine. Remember me?
Valentine? The cop? Is that who you're supposed to be? Sorry, pal, but you ain't Nick Valentine. You're just some kind of, machine.
You killed my fiancée, Jennifer Lands. There's some crimes even you can't get away with, Winter.
Your fiancée? You mean Valentine's fiancée? Pretty girl. A shame what happened to her. But hey, you, or, you know, the real Valentine, he should have backed off when he had the chance. But what gives, Robot Man? Why do you even care? Some girl gets whacked 200 years ago, and you come into my home acting like a hard guy? Christ, look at you. You're not even alive.
Then I guess I'm in good company.
You ain't taking me out! Yeah.
Done here. There's one more thing I've got to do. I wouldn't mind the company if you wanted to tag along. I don't think we're alone. Speak of the devil. This is it. In this spot, 200 years ago, one of Eddie's boys put a bullet in Jenny Land's back. Now Eddie's as dead as Jenny. And Nick. I'm at a loss. I just need some time to process all this. Mind if we get out of here? Yeah, that is if you're still interested in traveling together. I wouldn't blame you if you wanted some time on your own after all this.
You still want to travel with me?
I think I could suffer through it.
Of course. Let's do it.
I'm glad to hear it. Come on, let's get out of here. And hey, thanks. You know, I've been thinking about how things went down with Winter. I never properly thanked you for that.
Taking down Winter was a big deal. Are you doing all right?
I don't know. It's a lot to take in. Winter was it. The only reminder left of the original Nick Valentine. The last proof, outside of some long-lost Institute archive, I was ever just a mechanical copy of some cop from a bygone era. I'm not sure how to feel.
Don't you see, Nick? You're finally free. There is no other Nick anymore. Just you.
I wish it was that easy. But it's not. Because I was Nick Valentine. I had his memories, his fears, all that poor bastard's hope. I remember getting the call to head to some lab in Cambridge to get that neurotrans whatever. And the next thing I know, I'm in a trash heap. My family, my home, my entire life gone. Then I discover all those things that they weren't even mine. Everything I ever was belonged to Nick. I'd hoped with Winter gone, the last hint of that old world snuffed out, I could finally be free. But being out here with you, what I finally realized after all this time was that taking down Winter, it wasn't about Nick or Jenny or even you or me. It was about justice, about doing what's right. And that act of goodness, that's ours. All the good we've done, that's ours, and ours alone. And even if that's the only thing in this world that I can ever claim as mine, not Nick's, not the Institute's, but mine, then I can die happy. And none of it would have ever happened if it weren't for you. I'm not sure I'll ever be able to thank you for that.
You don't have to, Nick. We're friends. This is what friends do.
You can't stop being noble now, can you? Well, come on then. We're not helping anyone standing around here.